All right. So let's talk about something that women, this is something that we know, okay? It's something that we see. We have seen it a lot on social media. They've been doing like little like trends or whatever, essentially showing like how a woman had looked when she was in a relationship, and then showing how she has looked after she has left the relationship. And I think it's something that like women cannot put their finger on, how like we tend to get prettier, softer, more radiant after leaving a man who has essentially drained us. And it's really like not like your self-care or lack thereof, because there are actually a lot of women who will still do the self-care and they'll be like, "Oh, but I'm gaining weight. Like I'm doing the exact same thing that I was doing before I met this man, but I'm gaining weight. My face feels puffier. I don't have as much energy." And things like that. And a lot of women cannot wrap their head around it. And the thing about it is that it's because it's something that you can't see. Okay. It is a energy, it's spiritual. It's really just you reclaiming your soul when you leave a relationship that is not pouring into you. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to break down why beauty always returns to a woman when she walks away from the wrong man, and how a glow up, it's really a divine awakening. It's not just like a bounce back from a breakup. Okay. So we are going to get right into it. So, beauty is a byproduct of alignment. Beauty is not a product. Beauty is not something that you just arrive at. Your beauty is a symptom of your energetic harmony. So, the job you work at, the person you're in a relationship with, the relationship with your family, how you spend your time, your emotions, how you're able to process your emotions, how you're able to process those emotions through your body, the movement of your body. Those are all the things around you, the music you listen to, the books you read, the content that you watch. Those are all different forms of energy. And based off of that energy and where you are energetically with that, there's a level of harmony or disharmony based off of your energy being attached to those things. When you are spiritually aligned, your body relaxes. So, like here, like I'm currently in Florida. This is just an example of my surroundings. I'm glowing here. I have so much more energy. That's why I've been live streaming more. I live streamed super early yesterday. I did 2 live streams yesterday. I have a lot more energy because my surroundings are harmonizing with me energetically. So I feel amazing. I feel great. I could just feel that I'm in a place where I belong. I could just feel that I'm in a place that I can really relax. I've gotten the best sleep I've ever gotten. I have not been able to get this good of sleep, and I don't know how long. Being in Florida has me, whew, I'm never leaving. Cuz I lived in New York City. Y'all, I looked okay, but I was so tired. I was so tired all the time. I kept getting sick all the time in New York City. I couldn't sleep. It was a horrible time. So essentially, when you are in energetic harmony, your skin is going to glow. Your hair is going to get thick. Your hair is going to grow. Your face is going to soften because your cortisol is going to drop. You are not in fight or flight mode anymore. You're in your feminine. The feminine is always at rest. She's always at rest. She's comfortable. She's receiving. She's chilling. So, when you are in a state energetically where you cannot align, it's going to raise your cortisol from the stress that you have by not being in energetic alignment. Because naturally, your body is always trying to find balance. Energetically, you're always trying to find balance, and your body is going to signal to you where there is no balance. So, inflammation, acne, hair loss, bloating. And so, once your nervous system regulates, your beauty comes back immediately with no effort. There are women who lost a relationship, left a relationship. They'll lose like 10 pounds right after. No effort. Got all this energy, smiling, bouncing around. Your face, specifically, your face is the billboard of your nervous system. When I look at a person's face, it tells a story to me about that person. Their face is bloated, acne, their eyes are sunken in, their eyes are bugged out, like really, really bugged out naturally. I can tell energetically, okay, this person, they got a lot of cortisol, they got a lot going on. They got a lot going on in their personal life that is draining them of their beauty. The second thing I want to talk about is your relationships, your toxic relationships, and how they will wound your womb. Because obviously, you're having sex with whoever this person is. A lot of people believe that sex is just physical. It is not physical. It literally is alchemy. It's energetic alchemy. Whenever you are sleeping with someone, you are sharing an energy with that person. So, your womb, you have to think of your womb as like a spiritual database. Your womb knows who should be in there and who shouldn't be in there. Who is bringing you toxic energy? Who is bringing you good, clean energy? So when you are with men, you're sleeping with men, they're unhealed, they're low vibrational, they're emotionally unavailable. Their energy is going into your womb space. It's going into where you carry all of your life force energy. So this results in you not being able to be creative, you being dysregulated emotionally, and you potentially having physical symptoms, cramps, PCOS, fibroids, BV. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So when you walk away from these types of relationships that are toxic, that are bringing you negative energy, your womb is going to purge. Your period might be funky. Your symptoms might be different. There are so many women that I know that are like, yeah, even my periods are lighter after leaving a relationship. Now my periods are regular after leaving a relationship. And what's even crazier to me is that, so for instance, I've never taken birth control. I've never needed to take birth control, ever. I am a firm believer that unless I had to do it, like if I had endometriosis or something like that, if I had to do it, then yes. But I am not taking birth control to prevent a pregnancy when condoms exist. If I use a condom, I will be protecting myself from getting pregnant and an STD. Women have been bamboozled. Women have been bamboozled. When you do something like take birth control and you're only taking it to prevent a pregnancy and you're not using a protective contraceptive in some type of way, it's almost kind of like twofold on how strong your energy exchange is going to be, because you're already having sex with the person. So that's already an energy exchange. And then if they finish in you, you're having like the strongest energy exchange that you could possibly have. Like that man is giving you his epigenetics. So the DNA that is already coded into his DNA from his trauma, from his generational curses, from his karmic relationships, all of that is going inside of you. You're taking all of that in. You're giving yourself the strongest type of energetic exchange you possibly can when you are letting men do that. I've never, ever, 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 ever let men do that. Ever. I've probably let them do it twice in my whole entire life. A lot of y'all are letting them men do that to you and put that inside of you, and you don't even realize what is tied to that and what it is doing to you. The men want to do it so bad because they know, like Princella the Queenmaker talks about this. They know that you're taking in their DNA. You're taking in all of their epigenetic coding. You're taking in their negative experiences, which is also affecting your beauty. Your womb is acidic, which means that your womb naturally doesn't want that in there. If it wanted it in there, it would not have a pH to kill most of it. That's why they have this research coming out that says that the egg is the one that chooses the sperm. The sperm doesn't get to decide. The sperm is not running a race. Your pH is very acidic. It's killing all of the people that don't qualify, all the sperm that do not qualify. Your womb is very, very particular with who it is going to allow to have the next generation go on. This is why I have a video on how in the womb, how you will have a spiritual diagnosis of a man that is toxic to you. So things like infertility, hair loss, acne, all of that. I have a video on that. Men know what they're doing. They know exactly what they are doing. This is the reason why a lot of women will have a lot of issues down there. I keep getting BV. I keep getting BV. Well, they just came out and said that BV is actually a sexually transmitted disease that you get from men. The man that you're sleeping with is giving you BV. You've been gaslit for a very long time to think that you're the problem. that your infertility is the problem, when they are coming out with more research stating that no, your infertility, your miscarriage is linked to the man, because the man makes the placenta, which means that if your man does not have the genetic strength to pass through and supply what the baby needs, your baby is not going to survive. I have a video on that too, on how your soul spiritually, you chose your parents, why you chose your parents, the karmic debt behind you choosing your parents. Men know what they're doing when they want to do that to you. And it will affect your beauty. It will affect your weight. It will affect a lot of things. So when you leave, it's a detox. You're detoxing your body. This is why a lot of women elevate spiritually when they are celibate. Davina asks, how are sex workers able to, let me go back to the question. How the hell do sex workers keep themselves spiritually aligned when having numerous partners? The reason, this is only a small percentage of women. There are a very, very, very small percentage of women who are in tune with their womb, that essentially they do what men do to most women. Because when men are sleeping with you, they're alchemizing your energy. They're alchemizing your energy so that way they could take that energy and ascend, which is draining you of your energy. There's a very small select of women who are comfortable with their sexuality, who are comfortable with their sensuality, where they know how to alchemize the energy to make it work out in their favor. I know, because I'm one of those women. Because you have to think, just because the S workers are sleeping with them doesn't mean that they're alchemizing the energy. The women who have to drink and smoke and do hard drugs and do all that, it's not meant for them to be doing it. Only a small percentage of women have embodied that gift to be able to manifest things through sex, to be able to use the O method through sex and transmute that energy through having sex with a man. Very few women can do that. So when you decide that you no longer deal with the man anymore, you're no longer holding on to his projections. You're holding on to everything that he is holding on to. So if he was molested, if he was abused, if he has a history of alcoholism, if he has a history of drug abuse, he's giving you all of that when you're sleeping with him. So when you're no longer sleeping with him, you're no longer taking on those projections. You have energy. You have energy that starts at the root of your feet, and then how you transmute that energy, it can move all the way up through your feet, all the way up to your body, all the way up to your head, up out there where you can manifest things. I talk about the O method on my Patreon. I won't go crazy in depth how you do it. Essentially, the O method is you using an orgasm, because an orgasm has a high amount of energy. That's the reason why when people have an orgasm, they say, oh my God. Or like, I feel like my soul is leaving my body. There is a high amount of energy that is attached to an orgasm. So when you have an orgasm, you essentially have a manifestation while you're having the orgasm to be able to manifest what it is that you want. With or without a partner, you can do it. When your energy is rising, that is your Kundalini energy. Kundalini energy is represented by like a serpent or like by a snake. So you work through what you need to work through in all of your chakras, and you let the energy ascend up all the way through your crown chakra. And then those things, you have the highest amount of energy for you to be able to create things. So when you are no longer dealing with a man, because the thing about it is that I have a video on your sacral chakra. As a woman, your sacral chakra is the one that is going to take the most abuse. That's why I just talked on sex. I just talked on what is happening in that area. This is why celibacy is very, very important for a majority of women, because a lot of your energy is stagnated in the sacral chakra because you've been conditioned to normalize having stagnant energy there, energy that you are constantly giving to other people. The sacral chakra represents your creativity, your emotions, your tie to pleasure and sex. When you are tied to a toxic man, you don't get any of that. So these are the men who you have no fun in a relationship. Y'all stay at home. Y'all don't do anything. You don't get to feel like a kid. You got to constantly be serious. It's something to take care of. You have no creative outlet. You've given up your dream to be in a marriage, to be in a relationship. You're insecure in the bedroom. You want to wear a t-shirt to have sex. You want to cover yourself up in the bedroom. You're afraid of pleasure. You're afraid to take a vacation. You're afraid to self-please. You're afraid to treat yourself to good food. You buy luxury items and you let them sit because you don't want to ruin it. You don't want to, all of that is your sacral chakra that is blocked off, that is closed off. So you have no Kundalini energy to be able to flow anywhere. When you remove the toxic man, the energy can now flow. So when you are able to be free and reclaim yourself as a woman, you become a lot more intuitive. You become sensual. Whenever I go to pole dance classes, which I'm going to be starting back in like 2 weeks, I cannot wait. But I remember when I did pole dance classes 7 years ago, a lot of the women that were first-time pole dancers were divorcees. They were divorcees. They were divorced. And a lot of them were there to reclaim their sensuality. Whenever a man is looking at corn, he's looking at women in front of you, he's liking women on Instagram, you look nothing like these women, you can't do anything that these women do, it harms your sensuality. You can only get that back when you are single and you do something for you to reclaim your sensuality. This is the reason why women that work in sex work, see, the thing about it is this: men will say all the time they don't like 304s. They love 304s. The reason why they don't like 304s, they don't like S workers, they claim they don't like IG baddies. These women are 100% attached to their sensuality. And for the ones that aren't acting out of trauma, to the ones that are not doing this out of survival mode, those men cannot be with those women long term because they understand they don't have any energy to harvest from those women. No one can take your sensuality from you when you own it already. when you know how to alchemize it already. I don't have these problems with men because I'm sensual. I'm gonna post on Instagram. I'm gonna post the gym pics. I'm gonna do the boudoir photo shoots. I'm gonna be in a bikini. I scream sex appeal because I am in tune with my sensuality. Men are fearful of that. That is the reason why they don't like those types of women, because they understand she's not going to let me take her energy. She is not going to let me make her have a low self-esteem because she is not attached to herself. A lot of women are living outside of their body. Like, if you're a woman and you're afraid to touch yourself, if you are a woman and you cannot look in the mirror and touch yourself and adorn yourself and be sensual and things like that, you are not in tune with your body. You and your body are a separate entity. That is how men are able to do energy work on you to steal your beauty. This is why a lot of women that you see that are older, that are still very beautiful, it's because they are in tune with their sensuality and they're not going to let a man come in and take it away from them. The singer Maya, beautiful. She's like, what, in her 40s? She was celibate for 7 years. She married herself in a video. She's out here thick, looking good, looking young, wearing her leotards. She's still honing in on her sensuality. And this is the reason why a lot of men are always going to say, you're too old. You're too old to do that. You're too old to look like that. The women who are okay with their sexuality and their sensuality age gracefully, age beautifully. The women who want to stay modest, the women who are the purity cultured women, the women who are very tied to traditional ways, they age terribly because they are a separate being of their body. Their body is a separate aspect of them that they are not in touch with, which means men, it's much easier for men to extract energy from you because you are not attached to your own energy. You do not know how much energy that you possess. So when this energy, this Kundalini energy is allowed to rise, you naturally become beautiful. Your brain will have more creativity. You will be more passionate about things. It is not just a glow up. It literally is an awakening when you see these women looking way beautiful, way more beautiful when they leave a relationship. It literally is a resurrection. It is a resurrection of your body. It is a resurrection of your spirit. It is a resurrection of your energy. There is a metaphysical tie with your reflection. On a spiritual level, your face is a mirror of your soul state. This is why men like younger women. Men like younger women because look at how young girls look. Their faces are plump, their skin is clear, they're happy, they're smiling. Young women have a lot of clean energy to siphon. They have not been conditioned under patriarchy long enough to become separate from themselves. That's why they want you very, very young. When they're talking about, I don't want a 40-year-old, she's used up, she looks tired, she's jaded, she's exhausted. Well, yeah, because by then the patriarchy has stomped on you for so long. You hate your body. You hate being a woman. You have no energy to extract. That's the reason why they don't like older women. They have more life force energy. This is why, to any women that are like 25 and under, your youth is important. Do not let a man siphon your energy. Men do not have a life force energy. So they have to get it from a woman. They don't have any other way to be able to get it because they cannot create life. Only you can do that. I'm so serious. My ex-fling used to bite me. They are real life vampires. I had an encounter. Usually I'm the sex demon. Usually I am the succubus. There was only one time, two times in my whole entire life where I dealt with two sex demons, and one of them fucking bit me. Sex demons will do energetic work on you and they will bite you. They literally will bite you to mark their territory. When men are really, really when men are really, really putting their sex on a pedestal, they're probably a sex demon. They're doing energetic work on you through their vagina or through their penis on your vagina. If you're going to be sleeping with someone, you have to be the one that is the sex demon, not them. When you're the one that has a high enough energy and you know how to alchemize energy, you control those men. You can get what you want out of those men. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. It's not just about you having a tight vagina. It's not about that at all. It's your energy and how you're able to alchemize that energy and be in a state of being dominant over a man. Yes, I knew you was a freak queen. Y'all are funny. There was one time, listen to this. Listen to this. So there was a man. He tried to Adam. He tried to Adam and Eve me. He tried to Adam and Eve me. When you are dealing with a man and a man tries to Adam and Eve you, I have a video on here about Lilith. Go watch the video on Lilith. Adam met Lilith first. They were created from the earth at the same exact time. Adam wanted to be dominant over Lilith, and Lilith said, why the fuck are you trying to be dominant over me? We came up the same way. We were created from the earth the same way. How come you get to be dominant over me? And so literally and figuratively, Lilith wanted to dominate Adam. And so Lilith literally wanted to sexually dominate Adam. She wanted to ride Adam. And Adam was like, "No, I'm the man. This role should be reversed." And Lilith was like, I'm out. You can learn more from that story. There was a man that tried to do that to me. When I tell you that I was able to take that energy and alchemize that energy and have that man on his back, that is how I manifested these channels. That is how I was able to manifest these channels. Maybe I'll go deeper into it on Patreon with exactly how I did it. But that man was very karmic for me. Very karmic for me. And I used our karmic relationship to be able to manifest my YouTube channel. That is how powerful sex magic, sex work, and things like that are. So that should show you how powerful it can be when it comes to a man taking your energy and steal your beauty and have you be depleted. If I can manifest something from an unfavorable situation, imagine what men can take from you from your positive situation. And yes, solo is the best. Solo is the best. You can just get there faster. You can get there faster. And if you don't want to get there faster, you can control the pace. You know exactly how everything is going to go. So, back to the metaphysics of reflection. Your face being a mirror of your soul state, and how men use that youth, your face, your beauty. They use that as a way to know how much energy you have. When you are doing things, you're rereading text messages, you're trying to decipher what he means, you're trying to check up on him. You know, it's 2 hours before our date. He hasn't reached out to me. You're waiting at the phone. All of that is draining your energy. All of that is raising your cortisol. So, when you remove yourself from that, your eyes are going to become brighter because you're no longer in a state of confusion. Men cause a lot of confusion because they're not very emotionally open. You're usually in a state of confusion with men because men aren't going to tell you their feelings. Men aren't going to tell you what they really mean, what they really want to do. So your cortisol naturally is raising because you're in survival mode. You're in survival mode with someone that you don't even need. You got your cortisol raised from someone that you really don't need, that's not even an asset to you. So when you leave this person, there are some women, even the colors that they wear are different after they leave a breakup. The color of clothes that they wear, and then the way that they dress. That's more energetic work that men are doing on you when they don't want you to dress a certain way. That's all spiritual work. Because the way that you dress, it reflects where you are energetically, where you are spiritually. This is why I feel as though I'm having a very good fit here in Florida, because I like to show off my body. I go work out and I show off my body. I'm open. In nature, everyone is pretty much naked. In nature, pretty much everyone is naked. We now live in a society where, okay, you have to stay covered. And there is a level that I believe energetically tied to how you're dressing, why you want to dress in certain colors, because spiritually there are meanings to certain colors. You can manifest certain things through what you're wearing, what color you're wearing, how you're wearing it. Now, your beauty returning when your life force does. You know for sure that a man was siphoning your energy when you all leave from a relationship and you see him like a month later, 2 months later, and he looks like shit. Like I have one friend, it was a couple years later after a breakup, and she sent me a picture of how her ex-boyfriend looked. Y'all, he looked like a crackhead. He looked terrible. And she looks wonderful. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. When they were in the relationship, she was her heaviest and he was looking great. Yeah, mine like to be choked and shit. He loves when I tell him what I want in bed, how I want it, and corrects him if he ain't doing it right. Girl, that's how it's supposed to be. The man should always be worshiping you. Point blank, period. In every situation, the man should be worshiping you. I don't ever sleep with a man who is not worshiping me. He's not making an effort to do what it is that I want him to do in the bedroom or in life in general, ever. You are the life force. You are the one that is abundant. They should be doing everything that you want them to do, not the other way around. They don't have the life force energy to pour back into you. This is why when you're doing all of these things for men, you're going to be trained. You're going to be drained. You're going to be drained because now you're training yourself to essentially give up your life force energy for free, for nothing. Maybe I'm asexual. I just want to shop and go on trips and send me money and leave me the hell alone. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. No woman is going to get turned on by a man just there's a lot of women who aren't going to get turned on just from a man buying them shit and she's not attracted to him. Point blank, period. Like, no. If a woman is able to do it, it's going to be way easier for her to have like someone that she's attracted to in the bedroom and then be able to have whatever man that's going to like trick on her or whatever. You're never going to find the package in one person. Never. So there will be men when they see you, oh my God, you look so good. I didn't recognize you. Oh my gosh. And the reason why a lot of men don't understand, well, how are these women glowing up after a divorce? How are these women glowing up after a breakup? It's because you weren't with the same woman that you were with before y'all actually got involved. This is why men always say, I wish I had the old you. What happened to the old you? And it's like, there is no way for the old me to exist in this environment when you won't accept the old me. They take the old you and siphon your energy, and now you're a whole new person. And then they don't understand why you're different. And so once you cut the cord from that man, you're able to go back to who you really are. You're able to go back to your true self. And then on a psychological level, when men are very narcissistic, when men are very controlling, they work off confusion. They work off confusing you. Whenever you are with a man and you're confused, when you are trying to rationalize what a man is doing and you're saying, Well, he texts me every day. We've been texting every day for the past month, but he hasn't asked me out on a date. But he says that he likes me. He says that he can't wait to see me. That's confusion. They're giving you the text messages, and the date is over here, and the rest of this is filled in with your thoughts and your confusion, which is siphoning your energy. Please stop falling into these parasocial relationships with men, falling in love with men through text messages. You will know when a man is trying to use texting to manipulate you when you tell him, I don't text a whole lot. I will get to you when I get to you. Do not, if you text me after 8:30 p.m., I will not be texting you back. When they try to push those boundaries, when they try to text you excessively, they're not doing it because they like you. They're only doing it because they understand the more I talk to her, the more energy work I can do on her. Even when men do this in person, they want a real long date. I call them marathon daters. So they want to go on one date for a few hours, then you go on another date the same day for a few hours. Like when I hear that like a woman's first date was 8 hours, I'm like, and she's like, I can't believe he spent that much time with me. Red flag. A job interview of a place that wants to hire you ain't finna have you there for 8 hours. No need. No need for that. It's because they're trying to work on you energetically. They understand that you being in their presence, they are going to be able to plant seeds. They're going to be able to sell dreams. They're going to be able to confuse you. And then give you such a good experience for 8 hours that now you're at the point where you don't want to turn them down for a date. They literally will rewire your brain chemistry. And so this is why your glow up after leaving a relationship, you're able to heal your self-perception because you don't have someone telling you, oh, you look fat. And then you get on the scale and you haven't gained a fucking pound. Or they're calling you overweight after you just gave birth. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks and they're like, oh, well, when are you going to start losing weight? How come you look like that after it? So now you're questioning yourself. When the man is no longer in the equation, you gain your self-perception back. So then you can start looking at yourself objectively for who you really are, how you really exist, accurately, for the first time in a long time. When you have people that are, it's your family, your friends, and you've been in a relationship, and people start telling you, I can't recognize you. You're not the same person. It can be very easy to get defensive and to want to take that negatively. Do not take it negatively. Do not get defensive when you have people in your corner that are telling you that. These are people telling you that they have picked up on a shift in your energy. And they've picked up on the energy shift since you've been with this man. Because you're allowing this man to change you. A person that loves you for you will never try to change you. They will never be critical of you, overly critical of you. And it's okay. You weren't stupid. You not knowing, anyone watching, coming to like revelations and coming to a lot of realizations and kind of understanding, oh, this is what was happening. This is what was working on me. You're not stupid. It ain't like there's a class on this. It ain't like someone's giving you a manual for you to know how this is happening. You can't blame yourself for not knowing what you don't know. That's the reason why I do this. So that way you do know. That way, if you have daughters or nieces or cousins, you can inform them. And so that way they know. Because the thing about it is that men are very sneaky. For instance, I was never giving up my gym time. I'll never give up my gym time for a man. Never. One of my exes, who was narcissistic, he liked to call me on the phone. Can you guess when he would always try to call me on the phone? Yeah, when I was at the fucking gym. So even if a man is allowing you to do the things still that are making you beautiful, when you are getting interrupted, when all of a sudden a question needs to be answered, when all of a sudden a problem needs to be solved, you better fucking clock that shit. You better fucking clock that shit, because he's doing it on purpose. He's trying to be a distraction from the things that you enjoy doing to get you to slowly stop doing them. Phone is on do not disturb. Calls are going unanswered whenever I am doing stuff for my me time. Point blank, period. No one gets access to me when I'm doing things for me. That's why it's called me time. The gym is me time. I lost 60 pounds after my last relationship ended 2 years ago. Congratulations, Selena. That's great. I haven't gained it back. I know that weight was because of him. Yes, 100%. 100%. All of that stress, all of that cortisol, all of that having to be on eggshells, that's not natural for women. That is not a natural type of situation that is for women. Women are extremely sensitive to cortisol. Very, very extremely sensitive to cortisol. Men are mainly insatiable. There is nothing on this planet that can satisfy them to completion. You'll have a perfectly happy married couple, and he'll have a mistress on the side helping your relations. And the reason why is because men have the rockiest foundation through patriarchy. Because the foundation of patriarchy is built on anything external. When you are a person that has to rely on your identity being tied to your money, your car, your status, your power, your job, all of those things can be taken away. So men are constantly in a state of survival mode. Men don't have an identity. You don't hear women say, as a woman, I'm supposed to. women only say as a woman when they're dealing with other women. But when it comes to men, women do not say as a woman. Only men do that. Men rather be a part of a gender than be a unique individual. This is why their identity is so tied up in patriarchal standards. As a man, I'm supposed to protect and provide. I'm supposed to protect and provide as a man. Not a single original thought. So we've basically been living on this beautiful planet with demons. Pretty much. What you're saying needs to be heard by all the women in the world. It's so important. It's vital. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, one of the best things that as a woman you could do if you're, in a breakup or a divorce, and I feel like a lot of women start to do this naturally. A big reason why women will have that glow up after a breakup or a divorce, women start to get ritualistic again in their beauty routine. You know what I mean? Um, you having a skincare routine, that is all self-devotion. You having a skincare routine, you having a gym routine, you having a meal plan. That is all self-devotion. We have been conditioned as women. The only way that men could thrive is when, as a woman, you give up a part of yourself. Ladies, you got to stop thinking like that. You're used to hearing it in music, talking about, I, I'll give everything to you. I'll give my all for you. I'll die for you. I'll do anything for you. No, no. As a woman, you give life. What sense would it make for you to give your life up to anyone? That makes no sense. If your life, if your life was that, disposable, how come they don't draft women in the war? You literally got women over here bragging about how much they can sacrifice of themselves to get a man, to keep a man. Even our own government knows that you're not that disposable, that you're not that replaceable, that you have that much value. They're not having you get drafted in the war because who's going to birth the babies? How are we going to have a population? Even the government is more protective over your life force energy than you are. When men are saying that they don't want the self-care, the weaves and the lashes and the makeup and the nails, adornment is tied to spirituality. Whenever you are a woman, pretty much every single thing that you do for your adornment, your jewelry, your nails, your hair, your makeup, your lashes, all of that is adornment. All of those are ancient practices. When women wear the cat eye, yeah, the cat eye, that is a ancient practice for protection. Women will use liner, kajal liner, kohl liner. That was what they used to use to line their eyes for spiritual protection. That is where it comes from. I'm telling y'all, on a subconscious level, men are very, very spiritually connected than you think. A lot of y'all women don't even realize that men are doing root work on you. Men are doing love spells on you. One of my friends, listen to this. One of my friends said that this relationship was toxic. Toxic. I hadn't seen her in years, and when I seen her again, when I met her, she never smoked cigarettes. She started smoking cigarettes. She looked sick. She looked tired. Lips discolored. Skin was all just, her skin was just muddy. And I told her, I said, it's the man that you're with, who is most likely DL, by the way. Most likely DL. I told her, you better get rid of that man. She didn't listen. Her body rejected his baby. She had placental abruption, had to get surgery, lost the baby. So that was already a very clear sign that she shouldn't have been with that man. Depressed, couldn't shower. I mean, just as bad could get. Finally, after this man nearly killed her, she finally decided to wake up and decide, you want to know what? Okay, I need to quit dealing with this man. So she starts telling me more and more about this man. Listen to this. She says, one time I was sleeping. And she said when she was sleeping, he was whispering in her ear. Mind you, when you are in your subconscious, so through this is how hypnosis is effective. The reason why hypnosis is effective is because it activates your subconscious. Your dreams, this is why men are like, how can you have a dream and then get cheated on? Or you know that I cheated, because your subconscious is tied to the spirit. So when you're asleep, people can do energy work on you. He was whispering in her ear, you're going to do everything for me. You're going to be obsessed with me. You're going to fall in love with me. You're never going to get rid of me. You're never going to reject me. Anything that I do, you're going to do it. He was whispering that to her in her sleep. They try to program you during sex with their words too. 100%. That's the reason why they want you to say, it's yours. That's ownership. They're programming for them to have ownership over you, and you don't even realize it. That's spell work. Whatever you are saying when you are sleeping with someone, when that you're harnessing the highest amount of energy, that is spell work. I wear earplugs and I live alone. So when you're saying it's yours and yada, 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 yep, when they want you to say all that, programming, manifesting, spell work, crazy, right? Crazy. And then y'all wonder, and then the thing about it is this, then y'all wonder why the toxic men are so good in bed. That's what women always say. He is so toxic, but he is so toxic, but he's just so good in bed. I just can't stop sleeping with him. Of course. Of course you can't stop sleeping with him, because he's doing energy work on you while you're sleeping with him. That is the only time energetically I don't know what happened there. Hopefully you guys can still see me. Can you guys put a 1 in the chat to make sure y'all can still see me? Perfect. Sorry about that. I don't know. Something was weird. Let me see if they emailed me. Because they'll email me in a heartbeat and be like, you're doing yada yada yada. So let me see if they emailed you, girl. Child, they didn't email me. I don't know what the hell that was all about. But yes, there was a question somebody asked. Can you still elevate while having sex as long as you're doing it with the man on a higher vibe, or do you think celibacy is the only way? So I really recommend all women to I recommend a woman to stay celibate until she knows how to harness her sexual power, meaning that you know how to be sensual. Okay, you owning your womb, you owning your sensuality, you owning your sexuality, you feeling comfortable in your own body. If you got more than like 2 insecurities when it comes to who you are as a woman, like that's what I'm telling, like that's how crucial it is. That is how much you have to love yourself. You shouldn't have no more than like 2 insecurities when it comes to the bedroom. Like if you're a woman, like when women are like, oh yeah, I have to keep a shirt on when I'm having sex, you should not be having sex. Point blank, period. When you are subconscious in the bedroom, you should not be having sex at all until you can be in a space where you can be confident in the bedroom to the point where you can harness energy. You need to be celibate. Once you have enough energy from yourself that you can harness, naturally, your body is going to repel the people that you should and should not sleep with. Like the guy that I sleep with, he lives in another state. I'm very, very picky about who I do this with. And I probably only sleep with this guy once every like 3 months because it's only when I am in town. Because when you got a good thing, you hold on to it, because once you have so much energy and you've ascended, you're not going to be able to hop from pole to pole to pole. You're just not going to be able to do it and have the same experience. But he came to me and I was like, oh, we want the same thing. And I had already kind of known him, and I'm like, you want to know what? This will work out. And it ended up working out. He is on a level the same as me, where every time I sleep with him, I have a ton of energy. Like I have enough energy to do whatever it is that I want to do. I don't feel bogged down. He doesn't have all of these. He's good with boundaries. He will worship me, do whatever it is that I need him to do. And there's nothing else in between. I say it all the time. We need to get rid of situationships. Bring back the friends with benefits if you're out here trying to harness your sexual energy. I don't do a situationship. I hit this guy up when I'm in town, and that's pretty much it. Usually he will be the one checking in on me. And usually the only reason why he is checking in on me is so that he can have access to me still. Oh, he's definitely not from New York City. Definitely not from New York City. Lord, God no. Yeah, because our energy is the same, and all he cares about is if I'm good. He could care less. He really couldn't care any less about what it is, like how it is for him. He's like, nope, as long as you're good, I'm good. Literally, I flew back for one day, not for him. I flew back on a holiday. That man still dropped everything to still see me on the holiday. And here's the thing. Because here's the thing. Even if you just get money, it is so many women that I know that are in love with their sugar daddies. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are we doing here? Why are you in love with your sugar daddy? What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? It is your emotional detachment. It is your emotional detachment. And you have to have a power dynamic. I have a power dynamic because I'm not home all the time. So he's probably sleeping with me like 4 times a year. I hold the power because he can't hit me up. He can't hit me up whenever he wants to and be like, oh, do you want to come over? No. The only time that you're sleeping with me is if I want to sleep with you, not the other way around. That's what I'm not going to ever do. No, I won't be at anyone's beck and call. Mm-mm. Nope. And he likes it that way. He does not mind. Does not mind at all. No. It has to be whatever use that I see that man for. Because at the end of the day, he's not a target to get money from. He's not. That's the thing. When it comes to a man giving you money, just because you sleep, the same man you get money from is not always the same man that you should be sleeping with. You have to learn how to compartmentalize. You have to learn how to compartmentalize. Not every man is made for every single thing. You're better off having someone that, you know what, they will scratch my itch. There's no drama with them. They're cool. And then you just get money from someone else. I'm not going to make a man be all of the things. I'm just not doing it. I get a target for what I need. I find a target for what I need and keep them in that box. That's what men do. Men know who they can hit up at 3 o'clock in the morning and she gonna be right there. Men know who they can hit up when they have fallen on hard times and she's going to give him money. Yep, you have to have your own life. With my ex, I told him from the beginning, I will only be available to you 3 days a week. That's just it. You get to make your own rules. That is the beauty of you being a woman. You're the value. If you only want to sleep with a man for money, girl, do you. But I use magic when I'm sleeping with men. I got to make sure that their energy is in line with me to be able to sleep with them. So for me to practice what it is that I want to practice, in order for me to have the energy for me to harness sleeping with someone, they have to have the energy attached because I am a practicer when I'm sleeping with men. I'm not just sleeping with men for pleasure. I'm sleeping with men to make shit shake. I'm sleeping with men to harvest some goddamn energy. So, what I choose to do, it's not going to be the same for what a lot of women are choosing to do when it comes to sleeping with men. My intentions aren't the same. My intentions are not the same as most women when they're choosing to sleep with a man. If I wanted to sleep with a man for a profit, or if I wanted for it to be 100% transactional, I'll go back to the strip club. It's way easier to do it there. I'm not freestyling. I'm not going to a bar and buying a drink and doing all that stuff. I'll go to a club and do it like how I did it 8 or 7 years ago when I danced in the club. It's way easier. The number one place where you're going to find a sugar daddy is at a club, is at the club where they're there to spend money on women. I had the most sugar daddies when I was dancing because that's where they are. I'm all about the quickest, I'm all about the least path of resistance. Where do I need to go? Where do I need to go to get my needs met and do it with the least path of resistance? I'm over here trying to build a platform and help women. I don't have enough time to freestyle. I don't have energy to freestyle. I'll get the easiest transaction. I just work in a club if I want to do that. It's easier. Or doing OnlyFans, easier. Period. What is my love language? Because the men in my family are very generous with women. Getting money from your parents, your uncle, your grandfather hits differently. The women who are always getting like spoiled, the women that are always getting spoiled, especially for men in their family, those are the most dangerous women to men. Most dangerous. Do you manifest out loud or silently during sex? Usually silently. Because I don't want them to know what I'm manifesting. I don't want them to understand all that. They may try to block my shit if they know what I'm manifesting. Oh, it's easy for me to get money from men because the men in my family gave me money as a little girl. Yes. So that's why I'm saying when you're a woman that is usually spoiled by the men in your family, you're very dangerous to a lot of men, particularly average men, because average men understand, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to spoil her like her upbringing has taught her to have. I'm not going to be able to amount. This is why if you're dealing with men, you're better off just lying and saying, hey, my dad, he still sends me money. My dad still spoils me. And see how they feel about that. If they're intimidated, if they try to, well, I'm not your daddy. That was your daddy's job. He's not going to spend money on you. He's not going to spoil you. That's a very, very good foolproof way to know if a man is going to spend. Tell him that other people spend on you. Oh, well, that's no problem. I could do that and make sure he does it. Don't just be living on a prayer just because he said it. You got to make sure that he actually does it. But if they get mad that your dad has spoiled you, they're not going to spend money on you, girl. These men hate when I tell them about my father. I showed a young man a transaction my father sent me and he was sick. Yep. I say it all the time. When men say that girls have daddy issues because their daddy wasn't around, you already know that it's just a shaming tactic. Because if men were actually in their daughters' lives, men wouldn't have access to us. Average men would not have access to us. Men have been able to get as far as they have with women because we didn't have a man around. That's why you're looking for your daddy. That's why men want you to call them daddy. Like, come on, y'all. Let's really think here. Men want you to call them daddy because they really do want to be your daddy. They want you to have daddy issues. They want you to have daddy issues so you can give average men a chance. And so you look for your daddy in average ass men. And if you are having daughters, you want that for your daughters, to have somebody to depend on if something is broken in their house, their car needs fixing, or if they need money. 100%. And my father, who earns well and is still stingy as fuck with me and my mother. Girl, those are the worst ones. Those are the worst ones. Men that earn money, they earn a lot of money and they don't ever want to spend it, it's because they don't know how to alchemize and they have a scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset. I got to hold on to the best way for you to be able to manifest more money. I'm not saying to spend all of your money, but what I'm saying is that you spend your money knowing that you're going to make more money, knowing that you're going to earn more money. You have to do it responsibly, and there has to be a level of energy that you harness to be able to do so. But essentially, anyone that has an abundance of something and holds on to it, they are energetically disconnected. They don't have a good relationship with money. This is why a lot of women will be enamored with men and be like, I'm dating a doctor, I'm dating a lawyer. Are your pockets reflecting that you're dating a doctor, that you're dating a lawyer? Because when women brag to me about the profession that a man's doing, I always remind them, he's the doctor, he's the lawyer, he's making the money. If that money, if that doctor money, that lawyer money ain't coming to you, girl, all you are, you're just a doctor and lawyer by association. Your pockets aren't seeing the doctor lawyer money. And a lot of women will hold out with these men that have a high earning and they ain't spent a cent on them. You're not entitled to his money because he has a lot of it. That's just the hard, cold truth. Just because they have the money does not mean that they are going or want to spend it on you. A lot of these men just get into the profession just to have access to women because they understand that women care about a man's profession. And so he's like, well, I have more access to women as a doctor, as an attending than I was as a resident. These women are still around me and I haven't had to spend any money on them. So why would I start spending money on them when I haven't had to? This is why women have to stop being so easily impressed because they're taking your energy from you. You're so impressed by what their title is. You're going to let them steal your youth, your beauty, your energy, and you're getting nothing. Men's bread and butter are women with daddy issues. The whole of society wouldn't function without women making mistakes and having daddy issues. The whole world revolves around it. Yep. Yep. If women had no daddy issues, average men would not have access to any women. If men were actually out here spoiling their daughters, treating their daughters how they're supposed to be treated, honoring their wives, honoring their girlfriends, honoring their daughters, you would be disgusted at the average man that you are allowing to have access to you. In your head, you've been spoiled your whole life. That's how you should be thinking. In your head, you've been worshiped, you've been catered, you've been spoiled your whole life. You gain nothing. The thing that has really ruined women is a lot of this stuff in response to trauma. My trauma, my trauma, my trauma. You got to let that go. You got to heal that and close the book on the chapter. When you are constantly talking about my trauma, my daddy wasn't there, my daddy left my mom, you're vibrating very low. You're leading with your daddy issues. And so a lot of men are going to take that and they are going to use that as a way to take an opportunity. That's the reason why men are always saying, oh, we're leaders, we're protectors, we're providers, and y'all eat it up. Y'all eat it up because you're like, well, I didn't have a protector, I didn't have a dad, so I didn't have a provider and protector. Just to be with another man that is not going to protect or provide for you. This is why I said critical thinking on the other channel earlier. Critical thinking is very important. Quit repeating shit and not sitting down and actually think about what you're saying. Women out here are still believing that men are protectors, but yet the person that you're fearing that's going to do something to you is a man. But yet you're sitting here saying that men are protectors. The number one cause of death for a pregnant woman is her life being taken by her partner. But men are supposed to be the protectors? Men are supposed to be providers. They're supposed to be providers, but you have to work 40 hours a week for a paycheck, and you're working for a CEO who has multi-million dollars. You're begging for a raise every year. You're begging for the wages to keep up with the price of living. But men are supposed to be providers? The real world is not showing that men are providers. Everything that men provide for you, you have to work and you have to pay for it. This is why when men make the talking point of, well, women are ungrateful. We built you the world. We did all this for you. No, you didn't. A man that had money told an average man, work hard and pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and you'll be able to have a great life. The American dream. And because men are submissive, they just listen. They said, okay, master. And so what did men do? They worked for the man. They made the man rich. And they don't even realize that they're slaves. And then they'll sit here and tell you, we built the world for you. No, you built the world for a wealthy man to keep that man wealthy. You built a building that you can't even afford to buy. You helped build a car that you don't even have a high enough credit score to have your interest be low on. Everything that you built, it has to be worked for and earned for. You did not build this. You did not wake up and say, women are so amazing. Let's make all of these things for women. That is not what the fuck they did. That is not how it happened. Do not ever listen to a man that ever tries to tell you that talking point. They're wasting your time. There's the link to the Patreon in the comment section. As a matter of fact, while I'm here, let me add the link tree to this channel. So that way you guys can find everything on the link tree, because I have the link tree on my main channel. I just added it today. That way everything is in one place. The main channel, the spiritual channel, the one-on-one consultations, and the Patreon. All of that is there. And I'm going to be adding a second tier to my Patreon. So the tier is going to be all level up. So we're going to talk about like weight loss over there. We're going to talk about financial literacy over there. We're going to do like affirmations over there. We're going to do journaling prompts over there. We're gonna be doing a lot more. When I add the second tier, we're gonna be doing a lot more like inner work, shadow work, leveling up things on the second tier once I add it. So far, I have like, it's like dark manipulation, dark femininity on there. So like you wanting to use men for money, you wanting to manipulate men, you wanting to know tactics, essentially you knowing the game, you knowing how to play the game so you don't get played. Essentially, that is what I have so far over on the Patreon. Women are actually modern day slaves. Some of us work in labor and some of us work in the bedroom. Oh, point blank period. Do not be fooled when these men say, you rather listen to your boss than listen to me. Listen, the boss give me a schedule. The boss pays me. With the boss, I know exactly what I have to do. With a man, there's no set schedule. You're going to have to deal with him every single day. At least the manager just stay in their room. Hopefully, if you don't have a micromanager. But the manager stay in their little office and they're distracted. They have other work to do. No, I'd rather listen to a boss than a man. I'm sorry. Satan is the original red pill. He was kicked out of a pure bliss palace by God, and he literally created followers to carry out his dusty ass mission. Oh, 100%. 100%. These men are demons. These men are demons. We should have, I guess the origination of women creating men really came from them to sacrifice their life to keep them protected. Listen, we should have left them as meat guards. We should have left them as animal shields because this is just disgusting. They're warlocks, they're demons, they're dusties. They're terrible. They're terrible. And then the women that don't accept that they're warlocks, they're dusties, they're demons, they're just as bad. They're just as terrible. All right, y'all. I'm done. I've given y'all a lot of content today, a lot of time today. I keep saying that I'm gonna make content on the other channel for the membership, so that's what I need to do next after I make me something to eat. But I appreciate all of you ladies for joining me on this channel and growing this channel. It's almost going to get monetized. I think we're almost at like 750 subscribers. I need 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. And then I think I need like 35. I think another 2,000, like 2,500 hours of watch time. And then the channel will be monetized. So I really appreciate you. I'll probably do a poll on here. I want to start posting more on the community tab here and ask you guys what you all want me to talk about next in regards to spirituality. I hope you all enjoying the I'm glad that you all are joining the channel and that you all are enjoying the channel, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will talk to you ladies next time. Bye.